we're staying on the topic of negotiations in the European Parliament and in the European Commission, as leaders of the EU are to meet tomorrow in Brussels to discuss and to negotiate the names of future EU commissioners at the informal European Council summit. What should we expect from the meeting? And who is to lead the European Union for the next 5 years? To discuss this issue, we're joined by Sergej Sumlenny, Director of the European Resilience Initiative Centre, an expert on European and foreign relations. Good evening, Sergej.
Good evening.
So, how do you think the European Parliament coalition partners will divide the most crucial posts in the European Commission?
Well, we have clearly seen a certain shift in the perception and in the sympathies by the European voters. We have seen that the more right parties have got more votes that they have been presented in the parliament before. But that doesn't necessarily mean a certain change in the let me say, in the shape of the European Commission. We know that despite the fact that, of course, the head of the European Commission needs to be voted by the European Parliament, the European Parliament is an institution which unites representatives of many countries. And the fact that some parties form a sort of a party union in the European Parliament, that is a pretty strange system for many national parliaments, as you do not represent your party or your country being elected to the European Parliament. You need to join a certain coalition of parties. So all the Greens, for example, from all the nations join one Green party, conservatives join one conservative faction, etc. And within these coalitions within the European Parliament, coalitions of parties, there are pretty different views. Like in each practically union of these parties, you can see more left and more right groups, and they often vote thinking about their national sympathies and interest, and not the interest of the new party union which they represent, especially when it is about the head of the Commission. We have seen it recently by the election of Ursula von der Leyen, as many people who were members of more left parties voted for Ursula von der Leyen because they believed that she could be the best for Europe.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think Ursula von der Leyen was not invited to tomorrow's negotiations in Brussels?
Well, it is a tricky question once again. In Europe, a lot of events, they are the consequence of many different layers of interests. And we know that Ursula von der Leyen is not a person who is very popular in the current German government, especially for the Chancellor Olaf Scholz. We know that Germany remains one of the most important members of the European Union because of its size, because of its budget, because of the number of votes. And it is until now not very clear what are views by Chancellor Scholz personally on Ursula von der Leyen. We know he obviously has prevented her from being nominated for the position of the General Secretary of NATO because he believed she is too anti-Russian, too hawkish. And it can be also the case that he practically doesn't want her to continue this job, despite the fact that there are other rumors. So we need to have a look at many conflicting sometimes interests. And Ursula von der Leyen is not everyone's darling, clearly. She has her pretty strict view, pretty straight view on different questions. And she also represents a party which is on its rise now in Germany, Christian Democratic Union, which also may picture her as not a favorite person for, once again, Germany's Social Democrats, who have who had got the historically worst result in their history with 14%. Just think that there were times when they used to have like 35, 45%. Now with 14%, it's a humiliation for them.
Right, you said that Ursula von der Leyen is not everyone's darling, but she is a star of Christian Democrats and therefore of the EPP grouping in the European Parliament. But why is it Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk and Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis, why are they the chief negotiators for the EPP party?
Well, it is once again interests over interests, and within the EU we have party interests, we have national interests, we have economic interests, political interests, and other interests. We know that within the EU there is always a fear that Germany gets too much influence, and this fear is not happened out of the blue sky. There are pretty strong reasons for many countries, including Poland, including Greece, to believe that giving Germany too much influence on the political field in the EU can be problematic, if not dangerous, for other countries. And Germany had its disputes, let me put it that way, with both Poland and Greece. With Greece economically during the European euro currency crisis, with Poland there were a lot of tensions on the political level and the history, like how both countries should look at their future in the context of the World War II, etc. Like there are a lot of historical context in all these relations. So for many countries in Europe, there is this idea. The last German politicians in negotiations or in shaping of Europe, the better for stability, despite the fact, of course, that European Union in its idea is an institution which overcomes national division and overcomes national interest and thinks about more the common interest, the common European goal, and prevention of national tensions and national division.
Well, then it will be a long day tomorrow for chief negotiators in Brussels, because, as you said, on one hand, they are thinking Europe, but they always remember who elected them. Sergej Sumlenny, director of the European Resilience Initiative Centre, expert in international and European affairs, was our guest tonight. Thank you very much, Sergej.
Thank you so much.